Okay, welcome everyone. As we are sponsored by A.B. Spry for Nachas from his whole family, by Shalom Fogel, Leon Nishmas, Rabbi Yaakov Zeb, and Rabbi Yehuda Aryeh, Maris Rivka, Bas Rabbi Yaakov Yosef, Maris Tivya Miriam, Bas Rabbi Gad, and Rabbi Yosef Ben Tzim, and Rabbi Yaakov Zeb, by Yabarchi, and Leon Nishmas, Yaakov Chaim Ben Abba, Esther Bas Gittel, Avram ben Shmuel Akoyim Yaakov Yemansky for Akosatay for the Rav and the Zoom family and Nachas from children and grandchildren, by Ed Saleh from London and Joshua Rosenberg, a virtual Talmud. And as we are just getting underway on this beautiful Motzei Shabbos, people arriving every second over here, as we welcome in Dr. Guy Irving Fishbaum, Saba, A.B. Spry, Michal Avram Chavin, Yitzi Fuchs, Mark Frankel, Aaron Swade, Mel Zachter, Nachman Chapler, Yisrael Fisher, Shimon Deer, good to see you, Shimon, Eddie Chazan, Dr. Block, Stephen Holtzman, Moshe Lehman, Richard Rosenzweig, Yehuda from Yerushalayim, Ilya Shutman, and tonight we have a special guest in-house, David Elfgott, who is in Loch Sheldrick and came to the bungalow to join me. That's, by the way, everybody is welcome when they come down to the country to join this year. Any light live. You don't have to call ahead. You could just mark. You could just walk in. No problem. Anyway, at Motzei Shabbos, I always expect Mark just to walk in. I made a bracha already, Rabbi Isai. We finished the first parak tonight and start the second parak. Second parak starts with a little complexity, but for an item that has learned Yavamis and Erevin and Shas Cotton, Ksuvas, it's not a problem. Bava Metzia, this is a veteran crowd that's up to everything. But anyway, we start with the bottom line of Daf Tes Zayin Amud Beis. Bottom line on Tes Zayin Amud Beis. Tana Rabbanan, Shloisha Hitiman HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ba'olam Hazeh. Three people Hashem gave them a taste in this world, me'ein olam haba, similar to the afterlife. Eluhein, Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yakov. Avram, dichsiv bei bakol. Right? It says Hashem bereches Avram bakol. Yitzchak, dichsiv bei mikol. Right? It says by Yitzchak. It says v'yavei li v'ochel mikol. And I ate from everything. When Yaakov brought him the two Gedim for Pesach by night, and Yaakov dichsiv bei kol, right? He said, "Achi yesh li kol." So the fact that they had everything means that they had a taste of Olam Haba. Shloisha lo shalat b'hem Yetzer Hara. There were three that the Yetzer Hara never held sway over them, and Eluhein, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the Yetzer Hara couldn't control them, like it says. Tzadikim libam bereshusam. Their heart is in their control. Dechsibu bakol mikol kol. Yesh aimim af David. David HaMelech also was in complete control of his Yetzer Hara. Dechsibu libi. My evil inclination, chalal bekirbi, was dead inside me. V'idach, the other one that doesn't count David, he was just saying tzarei kamitka. He was mentioning his distress, that he had a broken heart. That's what he means, libi chol bekirbi. Tsar mamish, because it was broken, meiroiv tzaras, from the majority of tzaras that he had. Tan Rabbanan, Shisha lo shalat ben Malach HaMavos. 6 people, the Malach HaMavos did not hold sway over them, and they passed away Misa b'neshika, from the kiss of Hashem. The Gemara tells us l'mavis toitzois, there's over 900 types of death, and the worst death is askara, it's Gemara in Brachas, and the easiest death is Misa b'neshika. The Gemara says that Misa b'neshika is as easy as taking a hair out of milk. The Eluhein, and they are Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, because it says Dichsibu bakol mikol kol. Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam, Dichsibu, it says about them Al pi Hashem, by the mouth of Hashem. So the Gemara says, wait a second. It doesn't say, it says Al Pi Hashem by Moshe and Aaron. But V'ha Miriam like Ksiv Al Pi Hashem. By Miriam it doesn't say Al Pi Hashem. Amar Rabbi Elazar, Miriam Nami Meshika Mesa. Miriam also passed away by Meshika. We know this from a Gzeir Shava. The Gzeir Shava is the Asya Sham Sham Moshe. Just like it says by Yom Hasham, so it says over there that Miriam died there. And so then why doesn't it say Al Pi Hashem by Miriam? That it's not proper to say Al Pi Hashem in the Shika with a female with the Rabbeinu Shalom. Tan Rabbana, Shiva Leishalit Bem Rima V'Seileah. 7 people did not hold over them any maggots or worms when they passed away. Ve'elohein Avram Yitzchak Yaakov Moshe Aaron Miriam. And who's the 7th one? Binyamin ben Yaakov, and Binyamin the son of Yaakov. Avram Yitzchak and Yaakov, because again it says they had everything. The Chsibu Bako Mikol Kol. Moshe Aaron and Miriam, because they died from Neshika. The Chsibu Al Pi Hashem. And since they died by Neshika, if you remember, we said that where does the decomposing come from? It comes from the mora, that from the drop of the sword of the Malach HaMavis, but they died Al Pi Hashem. Binyamin ben Yaakov, that's different. There's another pasuk. Binyamin Amar to Miriam, and he said, Yedid Hashem, the friend of Hashem, Yishkain levetach alav. He will dwell securely. V'yeshaymim af David. David also, there was no rima and saleh. Af besari yishkain levetach. My flesh will dwell with security. V'idach. This doesn't mean that actually happened. What it meant is that this is what David was mispal for. Hahu rachmehu de kabay. Remember we said this in the Gemara and Brachas. Al zayis yispalu kol chasid le'eis mitzay. For this, every pious person should pray towards the time of finding. In other words, he should pray that even at zibula batraisa shalma, even until the last clod of earth on the grave, it should be peaceful. Tan Rabbanan, Arba Meisu be'ityoy shel Nachash. 4 people died because of the counsel of the Nachash. In other words, it was only because the Nachash got Adam and Chava to sin, and there was decreed death on mankind. That's the only reason why these 4 people died. Otherwise, they wouldn't have died because they never did a sin. Ve'elohein, Binyamin ben Yaakov. Binyamin never sinned. Amram Avi Moshe, Amram the father of Moshe, Yishai Avi David, Yishai the father of David, and Kilav ben David, and Kilav the son of David. Vikulu Gemara, all of these are tradition, in other words, there's no source. Levar mi Yishai Avi David, except for Yishai the father of David, the Mifresh Beikra, it's beferish that he never sinned. And he only died because of the Nachash. Where is it beferish? The Chsiv es Amasa, Some Avshalom Tachas Yoyev. Amasa was promoted by Avshalom instead of Yoyev ala tzava on the army. V'Amasa ben Ish. Amasa was the son of a man who Shmo Yitra Yisraeli, whose name was Yitra Yisraeli. Asher boa el Avigail bas Nachash, who slept with Avigail, the daughter of Nachash. Achais Tzruya, the sister of Tzruya, Aim Yoyev. Now the question is, Avigail wasn't the daughter of Nachash. Avigail was the daughter of Yishai. V'chi bas Nachashi, v'aloi bas Yishai. Avigail was the daughter of Yishai. D'chsiv v'ach Yoseyem, and their sisters of David, Tzruya of Avigail. So you see that Avigail was the daughter of Yishai, the father of David. Ela bas mi shemeis be'ityoy shel Nachash. When it says that was bas Nachash, it meant bas Yishai, who died only because of the counsel of the Nachash. Now Miller says a famous idea over here. He says Yishai, the father of David, and Kilav, the son of David, never sinned. But who is mentioned 2,000 times? David HaMelech. Because David HaMelech did for Klal Yisrael, and when you do for Klal Yisrael, it's hard to stay squeaky clean when you do for Klal Yisrael. But David HaMelech, he did for Klal Yisrael all of his life, and we're still living on the Tilim of David HaMelech. Hanu lach hashutfin, hanu lach hashutfin, hanu lach hashutfin. By the way, I want you to know, Rabbi Say, this Agadita was brought to you by Mark Frankel, who made a special request. Mark, you almost lost it because you weren't here Thursday night. You missed a sheer broadcasted from Yitzi Muller's beautiful home. I'm telling you. I know what happened. You forgot that the shear was in the night. You thought it was in the morning.
I'm sorry, Rabbi. I think we had left on Friday. I apologize to Yitzi as well.
All right. Yitzi said that, the next time you better be there. Now. Okay. This next perek starts the responsibility of shchenim, of neighbors one to the other. So, lo yachber adam bar, Mark, you can't dig a pit, samach lebarei shel chaverei, near Yitzi's pit, v'lei siach nor a trench, v'lei mara nor a cave, v'lei amas hamayim nor an irrigation canal, v'lei nivreches kaifsim or a washer's pit, eli imkein hirchik mekaisel chaverei, unless you distance it from the wall of Yitzi's pit, shloisha tvachim, v'sad besid, and you coat the pit with lime. Now, the pashut reason why this is not good is because the moisture will seep into Yitzi's pit and damage it. And therefore, then this would only be if the pit is full with water, not if it's not full with water. Another purpose, however, another reason which the Rishonim bring down is because in digging the pit, you are making vibrations in the ground and thereby disturbing Yitzi's foundation of his pit, and then it would be forbidden even if it wasn't with water. Umarchikin as a gefes. Now, gefes is the refuse of olives, which this is the psilas zeisim that were gathered from the olive press. Now, the refuse of olives generate heat. Vesazevel, manure generates heat. Vesamelech, salt generates heat. Vesasid, lime. Vesasloim, and flint stones, which generate heat. You have to distance that mikoisoi shel chaverei from Yitzi's wall, 3 tvachim, oisad besid, or coat his wall with lime to protect it from the heat. Marchikim es azroim, you have to distance seeds. Vesamacharisha, the plow. Vesmei raglayim, and urine, min hakoisel shloisha tvachim. Now the reason why is because seeds necessitate watering. The same thing is if you're plowing, that means that it's going to grow plants which need water, and urine, which is moist, has to be distanced min hakoisel shloisha tvachim, because the moisture undermines the foundation of Yitzi's wall. You have to distance the mill 3 from the bottom of the mill, the track, which is 4 tvachim. The stone that rides on the track is indented a tefach, so it has to be 4 tvachim from the rechev, from the stone that rides on it. There's a tanner and an oven, shloishim in akalya, 3 tvachim from the base. Shein arba min hasafa, it narrows out, so it's 4 from the upper. What?
Yeah, you have to.
The bottom line of Yud Zayin Amud Aleph.
Thank you.
Which is arba min hasafa, which is 4 lines from the edge of the oven, again because of heat. So now, when it says that he has to distance his pit from Yitzi's pit, it says 3 tvachim min hakoisel, from the wall. So the question is, why did it say from the wall? It should say from the pit. So I'm going to give you a scoop over here, that Yitzi's pit is entitled to have a wall that's thick 3 tvachim. And therefore, Mark has to distance himself 3 tvachim from the wall of Yitzi's pit. So now let's see this inside, as the Gemara will explain this. Pasach bebar, it says that he should distance himself 3 tvachim from the pit, or Messiah bekaisel, and it says how much? 3 tvachim from the wall. Amar Abaye v'sem Rabbi Yosef mikaisel b'roi shaninu. It means the wall of his pit. Why does it say from the wall? What exactly does it mean from the wall? As we welcome in Shelley Zeitman, Shelley, we're just getting underway over here on Yud Zayin Amid Beis, and we're holding 4 lines from the top of Yud Zayin Amid Beis. Elim Kein Hirchuk, it says, says the Gemara, Hakamashman, this teaches us the Kaisel Bayrei Shloisha Tvachim, that a pit is entitled to have a wall around it, a thickness of 3 tvachim. And this is nafkamina lemekach hamemka. This is a nafkamina to a sale, so that if Eddie asks me to sell him a pit, I have to give him also a thickness of 3 tvachim around it. A bar and its walls I am selling. So now comes the question. Here's this is going to be for about a blot now. The Gemara is going to look into this. But I say you should hear that because David Helfgott is here, they have firecrackers. It's unbelievable. They're celebrating that you're visiting me with firecrackers. It's amazing. Amazing. Itmar. Habol lismoich b'tzad hameitza. If Mark wants to make a bar on Yitzi's border, now Yitzi doesn't have anything there. So Abaye Aimer Saimach, Abaye says he could do so. V'Rava Aimer Einoi Saimach. Now, are we talking about a field where it's customary for people to make pits? So the Gemara says, according to the first version, Besada Asuya L'Bayrais, a field where people usually make pits, then they're not arguing. Then Mark can't make it near the border because he has to assume that Yitzi might make a pit. Abaye says, well, since they don't make pits, so Mark can make it right next door. Rava says no. Rava says, Yitzi says, Mark, just like you decided to make a pit, I might also decide to make a pit. Rava just like you changed from the custom and dug a pit, so therefore you should distance 3 amas from the border. Ikadam, right? As we found in Bava Basra, there's a lot of versions. Ikadam, right? Again, this has something to do with Mark because he said he wants to be, challenged by the Gemara. He doesn't want to just sit there and, say I could have been doing something else. So Ikadam, right? So if you have complaints, send it to Bela Kinwood. Now, Ikadam, right? Others say, if the field is not customary used for pits, everybody holds you can do it. Where they normally make pits. You know why? Because right now Yitzi doesn't have anything there. Even a Rabbanan that say that you have to distance a tree from from Yitzi's pit 25 amas because the roots shouldn't invade in Yitzi's pit. That's because he already had a pit there. But over here, when Mark is making his pit, and therefore he says it's allowed. The Rava says no. Rava says it's a field that's customary to make bayris. You can't be saying. And get a load of this. Even Rabbi Yaisi, who says that even though Yitzi has a pit there, Mark could still plant a tree. That's because when he plants the tree, the roots won't be there till much later on. That's not gira delay. It's not his arrows. The roots are not there. But over here, Yitzi could tell Mark, look, it's a place that's customary to make a bar, and kol mora umara, every bang that you make to dig your pit, the kamach is kamarpis leilarai, weakens my ground. Okay. Now, with all of this background, let's try to plug it into our Mishnah. You know, when somebody thinks of tuning in over here to the shir and thinks, you know, it's so late already, I'm going to learn 2 blot, you have to know the value of starting the week this way. It says that haschalas, it says kala maschal b'mitzvah imloi ligmar. A person that starts the week off with 2 blot, that bodes very well for the entire week. That's the way it is. It's true in Tannersville. It's true in Marine Park. It's true in Florida. It's true in Yerushalayim. That's the way it is. It's true in Pomona. It's true here in the Catskills. So now the Gemara says, and look at it, before you know it, we already finished the first blot. I mean, we didn't even get started here yet. And fairways also. You know, David says he hardly took off his shtreimel. He's almost finished the blot. It's unbelievable. I always get excited when I get a shtreimel in my bungalow. It uplifts my bungalow. If I would have known, I would have been toivel the bungalow. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Saim Yitz Hashem, tomorrow night, B'chol Avram, listen to this. Tomorrow night we're having a chok. And what a chok tomorrow night. What a chok. We're going to see what the Zohar says about saras of bottom. You mamish, hang on to your hats. Anyway, says the Gemara, Tanan, lo yachber adam bar samach lebayrai shel chaveira. We said that Mar can't dig a bar near Yitzi's bar. Says the Gemara, time adika bar. That's only because Yitzi had a bar there. Haleka bar saimach. So bishlai malach lishna da amrit b'sad shein asiya lebayrais. According to that version that says that in the field that doesn't have virus, divrei akol saimich, everybody holds that you could put it next to the border. Masnisim b'sad shein asiya lebayrais. So that's why, since it's a field that's not made for virus, it's only because Yitzi has a bar there. But otherwise, Mark would be able to do it right up to the boundary. So according to Abaye, it's good. Because Abaye says you can put it up at the boundary. But according to Rava, it says that you have to distance it from the Meitzah, then Kasha. Then why does it say next to Yitzi's bar? Amalach Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda says what it means is Mikaisel Bayra Shaninu. It means that when it says that he has to distance, it means that he has to distance 3 tvachim from the potential wall of the bar, which means
The line.
what?
You skipped one line.
Sorry.
Before Rabbi Yehuda was Abaya, the line with Abaya.
I said it. Bishleim l'abaya nicha. According to Abaya, it's good. Because according to Abaya, he says that you're allowed to do it right next to the boundary. El Rava kasha, but according to Rava, it's shver, because according to Rava says that even if there's no bar there, you're still not allowed to put it there. So why does it say in the Mishnah only from his bar? Says the Gemara. So Rava answers a very clever answer. Amalach Rava ha'itmar Allah Amar Abaye v'Yisem Rabbi Yehuda mikaisel b'roi shemanu. It means that he has to distance 3 tefachim from the potential wall of Yitzi's bar, and the word wall means that when Yitzi is going to dig his bar, Yitzi is going to also have to distance 3 tefachim from the Meitzah. So that means that when Yitzi originally digs his bar, he's going to have to leave a wall of 3 tefachim even the first time. So inherent in that is that you always have to leave 3 tefachim to the border. That's one version over here. Ikram, right? Is another version. V'imar Allah, Amar Abaya v'Yisem Rabbi Yehuda. Abaya said, and others say Rabbi Yehuda, it means mikaisel b'roi shaninu. Then that means that even the first one that digs the bar has to leave 3 tefachim to the boundary for the wall of the bar. So Bishlai Malach Lishna Dharma Bisada Asiyas Labayris Divrei Akal Einai Saimech, that if it's a field where they're customarily bayrais, you can't be Saimech, so they're Masnisim Bisada Asiyas Labayris. And therefore, even when Yitzi makes his first bar on the border, he has to leave a wall of 3 tefachim. El Hachlish Nadamar Bisada Asiyas Labayris Pligi. So Bishleim Rava, who says you have to distance 3 tefachim even if there's no bar there. Nicha. Ela Abaya kasha, but according to Abaya it's shver. Amalach Abaya, so Abaya gives a very clever answer. He says, you know when Yitzi has to leave 3 tefachim? That's when they both come to dig bayris at the same time. Amalach Abaya masnisin shabo lachbar babas achas. So where they both come to dig at the same time, so Yitzi has to leave 3 tefachim, and Mark has to leave 3 tefachim. Tajma, Sela haba b'yadayim. If the earth is so soft that it crumbles in the hand, you don't need any equipment. You could just make it from the get-go. Chayfer bayray mikan, zeh chayfer bayray mikan, v'zeh chayfer bayray mikan. Each one digs a pit. Zeh marchik shloisha tefachim. This one digs a pit 3 tefachim v'sad b'sid. V'zeh marchik shloisha tefachim v'sad b'sid. So you see that the first one that does it has to distance 3 tefachim, which is a kasha on Abaya who says that you could go all the way up to the Meitzah. Says Gemara, yeah, well obviously earth that crumbles in the hand is different, because there it's going to undermine the other person's soil much more. And that's what the Gemara says. Baba Yadayim Shani. So the Gemara says, Udikari la my karla. What was the Havamina? That's an obvious answer. So the Gemara said the Havamina is that really even if it's not Baba Yadayim, you need 3 tefachim. And the Chiddush is that you might think that Baba Yadayim you need more. Baba Yadayim it's Trichalei. So Kedai Tachamina came from the Baba Yadayim. Liboy Nami Rafkutfei. You should need more than 3 tefachim. Kamash Malon. Okay, we're just going to pause a minute to change the channel over here, Rabbi Yisai.